Let's keep this real for a second. You're on autopilot. I know me some high achieving women, and you've just chosen to just go ahead and just drift. This is the topic that I want to get into today. If you're tuning into this video, it's because you're supposed to find this because it's time for you to get out of the drift, get out of autopilot, and start getting into the driver's seat of your life. I want you to listen to this message because I don't know what we're waiting for, but it's your wake up call right here in this video to wake you up. Let's keep it real. Let's go on in, and I'll see you on the inside of this video. If I know one thing, you're not unmotivated, you're not lazy, and you certainly are not broken. But what you are doing is drifting. You're drifting through life. And let me see, does any of this sound familiar? Like you're really, really busy. You constantly have things going on. Your response to people is, I'm just so busy. And you very rarely find yourself ever to take a break or just sit. Like you don't even know what it's like to just sit in the present moment because you constantly have things running in the background. Is that you? I know because that is a reflection of a lot of the women that come to me from corporate and they just feel like they're consistently shifting. And once you move to like the age, 35, 40, 45 for real, you're starting to go, why do I feel out of sorts? Why do I feel like I can never catch a break? And that's just because you've chosen the drift philosophy. So I want to break this down for you because I want you to walk away from this video with some steps that are going to allow you to get into the driver's seat of your life, no matter what level of corporatism you are in. If you are in the high achieving C suite level, if you are in just entry level, regardless, there's a time where you just said, I'm just going to put my head down because you got kids running around, you have their schedules, you are trying to get to the next level, and you've just chosen, oh, this is the path that women do. So I got to like lock into this mentality, which I'm just telling you right now, it's not a long game mentality. That doesn't get you to the next level because I know for sure that what you're feeling when you actually do get silent is you feel this nudge to want to be more of what you've been called to be. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out our Rise 53 Inner Circle newsletter that we write every single week. This is a paid subscription that we give to our followers. These are high achieving corporate women who want to live a life of authenticity and a healthy mind, body, and spirit and soul. My name is Diana Patton, and I'm your authentic power strategist. And we like to give information to corporate women that they can rise in their positions with their authentic voice. And to be honest with you, companies that work with us, they really love it when we work with the women because they understand they want to invest in women at this level to give them everything that they can be to be the most amazing, have the most amazing life. And they're willing to invest in them to do that. And as a result, their companies benefit. So I'm going to pull up a actually a newsletter from a colleague. I'll call him a colleague, someone that I follow on LinkedIn who writes, he's a fellow attorney, and he writes a lot about really helping people be secure in themselves, speaking up for what they want, negotiations, and the like. Now, his name is Kwame Christian. And in his recent article, he talks about the phenomenon that John Gayford talks about, which is the drift. And I'm going to read it for you with my new fancy red glasses. Let me know if you see these cute. These are cute, right? Well, the drift is what's called the sneaky place where you're doing all the right things, but you're no longer steering your own life. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, right, does this sound familiar? You handle everything, and you know how to handle everything, and you do it really at to the level where you feel like only you can do it, right? You hold everyone else together. Am I right? Yep. And you stay productive even when there's no nervous system is screaming. Like your nervous system is screaming. And then the drift crept in like this because you're constantly on. You're constantly moving, and rest doesn't feel restorative. Like when you go and you lay down, you wake up and you're still tired. Or you keep saying, once things slow down, spoiler alert, they won't. I have a lot of women who tell me, "Oh, what sound you're doing sounds good, but I've got this going on, this going on, this going on, and it's just not the right time." Well, it's never going to be the right time. Let me repeat. It's never going to be the right time for you to be able to do the work that you've been assigned to do. Because if it was the right time, you valued that, you would make room for it because you knew how important it was. That's simply because, my sis, you are in the drift. And it's time for you to decide, do I want to be in the matrix or do I want to be outside of the matrix and leading my life with intention, precision, with focus, and this deep desire and inner knowing that you are on the right track? Even when it doesn't seem like it's working in the present moment, you know you're on the right track. And that's what we help women do at this level. And I want you to walk away with some tools. I want you to feel a sense of directiveness. Now, I want to share a personal story with you because for me, I have known this mentality, and I used to be this way when right after having kids, I started, doubling down on getting that next promotion, falling into this global purchasing job, and it was not even a year. I had just got done breastfeeding and I stepped into this position because I'm going to do it. And I found myself, who never really drank before, starting to sip on these martinis, and these martinis turned into two martinis. And then those two martinis that I had out, I decided to buy a bottle of vodka to have it in the house just in case I wanted to have one because it was less expensive. And I began to justify this lifestyle to myself. I was certifiably in the drift. It's just that I decided I didn't want that life because that was the life I saw growing up with my father, who undoubtedly gave up on being different because, one, he had all this trauma in his life, and it seemed like his circumstances were insurmountable. But everything, and I mean everything, is able to change when you decide it's time. So today, I want you to decide if it's time. And if you're with me, say it's time in the comments, right? In the comments, it's time. It's time for you to step outside of that lifestyle and get a new lifestyle. You feeling me? Awesome. Well, what I want to do is I want to give you some steps that are actually outlined in Kwame's article that references this individual, John. I always like to give reference to when I get information from people, I like to give reference to who is giving me this information just because it's just the integrity in me. So here are some steps that you can take that we've given to our Rise 53 Inner Circle that we'll be discussing in our Friday meetups, because we every single Friday we meet up and we talk about these coaching circle ideas. So here's how we're going to interrupt the drift and be what I like to call an influencer for good. An influencer for good for your own life first. So number one is name the drift, right? In other words, ask yourself, where am I moving out of obligation instead of intention, right? And a lot of you have so many things that you have obligated yourself to, but you don't have intention behind the obligation. You simply said yes to it because it seemed to look good, right? Write it down, be specific, and you might come up with 5 or 10 of these. But if you can narrow it down to a priority of where you need to move out of, that's where we're trying to go. So, first, name the drift. Then, number two, choose one anchor. And I'm reading from our newsletter. Okay. So, it's what's one non negotiable that brings you back into your body and your values? So, a morning pause, a boundary, a weekly check in with yourself. Could be a solo date, right? Or a cafe stop. Jazz it up from time to time. Maybe you might want to put on some Bad Bunny music and be in your car parking lot before you go inside. I don't know what it is, but you need to choose an anchor. And I'm going to say for me, the non negotiables for me are my morning time. Like, I started that when the kids were little. There's absolutely no way I'm going to let anything get in the way of my morning time routine. Now, it might shift up from time to time, but it certainly is going to take a pause in practice before I even pick up that phone. I am going to, give thanks. I'm going to give gratitude. I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to allow myself to feel a sense of calm as my cortisol levels rise in order for me to get out of bed. I've learned this, and it is a non negotiable. But you have to start to choose your anchors that are going to help you pause. We have what's called the 3-5-5-3 method, which is an anchoring practice that allows you to anchor yourself throughout the day. But I'm asking you just this one time to choose one. Hey, put it in the comments. What's the one anchor that is a non negotiable? You're going to pick one of them, okay? Now, the last one, add accountability. And this is where we come in because we are all about making certain that we are working in alignment with what it is we need to do. So that's why we have accountability in here, because you need people who are doing this. See, the thing is, you are a product of the 5 people that you hang around the most. And if you identify what's making you drift, where your anchor is, you can work with someone to say, hey, this is what I'm remaining accountable to. Can you help me do that? I have great accountability partners in my life. One is the person that I work out with every Tuesday and Thursday. And then my yoga practice, of course, sometimes I drift out of that and drift back in, but it's mostly the drift in. But I have a great teacher, I have a great community that keeps me accountable, right? So that's where we want you to align yourself with and to grow in connection. And we just so happen to have one way that you can do that, and that is through our Rise 53 Inner Circle. Our Rise 53 Inner Circle is designed for high level, high achieving women to remain accountable to goals. Now, it's not I'm not like a therapy group, right? We do give therapy to one another, but it's not for us just to whine about all the things that are going wrong. It's for us to remain accountable to staying out of the drift and going into spaces that are going to align with what it is we know we've been called to do. What do you think about that? How many of you believe that you are capable of taking a step in this direction? Why don't you say me in the comments? Say, I am capable of moving into alignment. I am capable of moving into alignment and removing yourself from the drift. Listen, you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't need a 1, 2, 3 program. You just need to take these 3 steps and be active with it. Create accountability in yourself, in your life. And I guarantee you, you will begin to move into a new level of frequency. You will begin to feel energy like you've never felt it before because you start to realize, I can do this. I can do hard things and I can get myself back into alignment. I hope this was helpful to you. If it was helpful, I would love to hear from you. Please comment, please like and subscribe this video, share it with someone who needs it. And also, consider joining our newsletter that we do every single week. If you're listening to this from LinkedIn, subscribe to our Authentic Power Strategies newsletter so that you can get pinged for this newsletter. If you're on YouTube, of course, like and subscribe. But if you want to take it a step further and you want to dive into our ecosystem, I say that you take the link that we are having in this post and subscribe to the newsletter so that you can actually get on our email list and we can talk to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. And as I said in the video, take it a step further and be a part of our Rise 53 Inner Circle. There's a link here in this post, which will allow you to be able to take time to connect with me. And we can see if you are a good fit to join the Inner Circle. We want to hear from you nonetheless. Thank you so much for being a part of this video today. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And do yourself a favor. Just keep it real with yourself, okay? All right, we'll talk to you then.